Hello class! Today we are going to have a look at Transformers Beast Wars Manterror. Sounds kind of like a name for a horror movie, doesn't it? Manterror. Or a pro-feminist movie. Manterror. Okay. Anyways. Enough of my rambling. We'll have a look at Manterror here. He's from the Beast Wars line. So that makes him, what, 10, 15 years old now? And we're looking at, obviously, the Praying Mantis mode. Now, in terms of the color scheme, I mean, we were looking at it's a lot of that kind of bright green. We've got orange highlights on certain parts, up here on his claws, his eyes with a little black bit there for his pupil. And the translucent kind of purple color for his legs and wings. I'm not sure why they're purple, but I imagine they decided they needed a different color. And then his claws up here are a slightly different color green with some of the orange highlighting on it. He's even got a little bit of purple up here on his face, and if you look, in terms of the detail, that part of, I don't want to say the beak, but that front part of his face looks serrated almost. And we can, if I can get hold of it, we can actually move the mouth down. So he's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll close that. Shut up. Okay. Now, in terms of the details on the figure, which we'll look at some more, if you look at this part of the arm, and over here on the arms, even in the insect mode, got the spikes on the underneath there, and it even looks ridged, scaled, serrated, whatever on the sides. Added a lot to this figure. They didn't really have to. All the extra little detailing up here, and on the back, even still, it feels ridged. You can feel the texture of it. And the wings, we can see all the different lines in there. Very good. So, enough of looking at the bug. We need to have a look at the robot figure, because that's what matters probably the most. So as we transform him, unfortunately this character never did make the show. I would have loved to have seen this figure on the show. Or this character, because I always thought he was very awesome. But sadly, the toy executives can only get the writers to toss in so many extra toys onto the show. Now, trick with transforming this figure, and it is a deluxe, is he has these parts, let's move these out of the way, for his legs. We have to fold those forward to kind of make his chest piece. And as I said, I've had this figure for about 15 years, and it's not one of those ones that just kind of got put away. It's one of those ones that I would frequently dig out and transform back and forth. Putting these chest pieces forward, I've always found to be a considerable pain in my butt. Okay. If it's a pain in the butt, you're doing it wrong. Shut up. Okay. So we've just about got him done. Fold down those. Put this forward. There we go. We can flip up his shoulders. I don't know how well we can see that. There we go, and there's his head. And stand him up. Whoa. Adjust my camera a little bit. Yikes. We'll fix his arms. Much better. And here we have Manterror in his robot form. Now, as we know, he is a Predacon, but we'll look at that a little bit more. In terms of his colors, I mean, really, the colors from his robot mode are going to be more or less the same for his beast mode. We've got some of the translucent purple for the wings, the green. The only thing that's really new is that we can see his face. He's got the bright white teeth, the better to eat you with. He's got kind of the red eyes, which are more or less the same as, or I guess maybe orange, same as the insect mode. And he's got the purple along here up top, kind of looking like a mask over top of his face, like almost like a cowl. And we can see he's got all those teeth. He smiles kind of like the Joker of the Beast Wars world, which is, I don't know, I kind of like it. It makes him look a little bit crazy, a little bit evil. And on the top, we can see it there, but if I put my thumb on there for a second, we can see that, lo and behold, he is in fact a Predacon. Because, you know, there was a lot of insectivorous insects that were Maximals. I don't know if there were any, were there? Anyways, so there we have Manterror. Now, in terms of his articulation, we showed the wings. They can move all around. They're on a ball joint. His head, that'll twist all the way around, and up and down a little bit, but not too much. The shoulders, we've got a ball joint here which we can move around. It's obstructed a little bit by the arms here that form part of his chest piece. And at the upper arm, it's got another joint that we can rotate around. It's a ball joint, and same with the elbow. Lots of ball joints on the Beast Wars figures. And then the claw extends all the way out, but no movement, no rotation. Nothing in the waist whatsoever, absolutely nothing. The hips are on the ball joint as well, so we can move all those all the way around. He can be doing crazy taekwondo kicks that way. The knee, same thing. We can rotate it, move it up and down. It's on the ball joint, and the feet close a little bit, so we can adjust those. So most of his articulation is for his transformation, but there is some extra, and it's nice because it does give him some decent posability. Now for his gimmick, because we can't have a figure without a gimmick, we've got these discs inside the claw, and I get the idea that if he were to show up on the cartoon, or maybe it happened in the comic book, this would be much more serrated. I mean, it looks like, if you see the way the mold is, it looks like it's supposed to be little blades there. Obviously, we don't want the kitties to hurt themselves, so it's a circular disc, and it would probably spin, and he would just hack Maximals down with that. That would be awesome. But if he feels like staying away from the pesky little buggers, see this bit on here on the top? If we press that, we can shoot the disc at the camera and probably lose it. And then actually it folds back down actually a little bit closer. Well, maybe not. He's got these, whoa, it goes all the way through. He's got these holes here in his forearms to hide the discs, so he can keep his arms closed. And then obviously the other side can do the same thing, but I don't want to go fetch that one right now, since I have to go fetch the other one. But there we have Manterror. Now, as you can see as I'm trying to stand this figure up, the hip joints leave something to be desired, and it's a combination of this figure is considerably old, it's been played with a fair bit, lovingly of course, and he has a lot up top, especially his arms. I mean, if you look at the length of his arms, there's a lot of weight up there. So his hips don't hold up too well anymore. I've seen ways to kind of repair that using like a dot of crazy glue, but I'd probably just end up fusing it in place, so I won't do that. So his hip joints have problems, but a lot of figures with this kind of joint on the hips do. But you can score some nice poses with him. I don't know if you'd see him at toy shows and online anymore or not, because he is pretty old, and since he wasn't in the show, he wasn't a particularly popular character. But I always liked him because he looked like some kind of mean psychotic ninja whom I can't stand up anymore. At any rate, that is our friend Manterror, the evil Predacon army. If I'm going to give this figure a grade, I'm going to give this figure a grade of B+. Part of it's just because I'm biased towards him. I don't know why, it's just, there's always one figure that might be, I don't want to know if, say, obscure, but didn't make the show, blah blah blah, that you just seem to like for some reason. For me, it's this one. I really like Manterror, so he gets a B+. He's got excellent articulation. He's got personality. Let's give him that. He's just got personality in his face and the way he can kind of strike a kung fu pose. Because, you know, he would know Way of the Mantis, right? Oh, that was bad, I know. So, decent figure. If you see him, you know what, and you're kind of bored and it's not too expensive, I think he's worth picking up. He definitely spends a lot of time on my toy shelves, just because I think he's excellent. But anyways, that has been a look at Manterror from Transformers Beast Wars. Thank you very much. Class dismissed.